choo choo. Ha 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 ha.
And hello, we are live. What is going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to the Fun Speculation Podcast. It has been a couple of weeks since we've had a show. Thanks everybody for the patience on all of that. We've had a lot going on. Unfortunately, we had a loss in the family as Kate's dad, my father-in-law, we lost last Monday. Unfortunately, I lost a hard battle with cancer. This was 2 years after recovering from a liver transplant where we almost lost him. And very important person to me and my wife, obviously. So it's been pretty rough around here, but we gotta keep things going and happy to be back doing shows again, and hasn't stopped gaming, haven't stopped enjoying all the things. I've been interacting on Twitter and everything, and so but that's why we've been gone. So appreciate everybody out there. I did put something on Twitter yesterday, just that we did have a loss in the family. So I appreciate the condolences on that. And thank you all for sticking with us and looking forward to getting back talking games. So with that being said, I am excited that on the show back, we do have the one and only Jasper joining us. And if you don't recognize him, it's because he took off the Clark Kent glasses. So you see the true form of Superman now. And the one and only Lord Jasper is here in true form. What's up, Jasper? How are the laser eyes treating you, sir?
Uh, they're doing good. It's still at nighttime, and as long as the day goes, the longer the day goes on, they get a bit blurry. So it is what it is. But it's supposed to get better in the next few months as it
Yeah.
continues to heal. But I can see good now, so everything was good.
Yeah, that's good, man. I like the disc plates behind you too. This is like kind of like a new setup. I haven't seen this. Are you in a new place as well, or is this just
Well,
like
yeah, I moved at the beginning of May. I just never got.
yeah,
I finally just started getting my gaming area set up. I was usually just playing on my laptop on the TV or something in the living room, but now I got a little gaming corner.
right on,
So
man. I have a couple of disc plates too. We have a Post Malone one where he's like grinning with gold teeth, and I have a Halo. Have any in here? They're all in the game room, I think. But yeah, man, I like those things. They pop. Um, so Jasper,
yeah,
Mr. Halo. No, first off, hey, Spider-Man, appreciate it. Welcome to the Speculators. We just saw Spider-Man Brand New Day. Um, I love Marvel movies, and a lot, if you guys stuck with our channel for a long time, you guys might know how much I love Marvel movies. I'm a big MCU fanatic. That might be the best damn one I've seen. So, I mean, it is. Like in game is going to be hard to pass just because of the moments that are in that. But like, just as a movie, absolutely fucking amazing. So, besides that, I want to get into a little bit of the stuff that's been going on since we've been away, and we had a big release this past well, actually, the full official release was like what, like a couple days ago, a day or two
The
ago.
28th. Yeah. So
Yeah.
just Tuesday.
Yeah. Unless you got the early access, I'm talking about Halo Campaign Evolved. Um, Curious, Jasper, you're a big time Halo fan,
Yeah.
massive. You're very like, you guys know Jasper. He's very critical and very harsh at times when it comes to things, and he has a lot of passion for Halo. Um, I have no idea what you thought of it, or at all, if you even touched it yet.
I
So,
have. I'll to start out. We'll get into this topic. I will say I have played the game. I've probably played it for about 16 hours now. I've beat it 3 or 4 times at this point.
did you speed run it?
Um, I've been kind of speed running it and playing the game, but this is one of the issues. One of the issues, Halo. I This studio. Let's just start out. They need to just fire everyone at Halo Studios and get a whole new staff. I am sick and tired of them destroying the Halo franchise. So
Okay, well, we'll see.
this
I
is
guess that's how
kind
you
of
feel
where you
about
see
it.
my opinions are.
Okay.
um,
We'll get your thoughts, and then I'll
one,
get into mine. So yeah,
yeah,
curious.
I'll go through
Yeah.
I'll start at the positives first. Let's say that
Okay.
because that's a shorter list. Uh,
Okay.
this is kind of a half positive, half negative to start out with. Visually, it looks good at times. Other times, it's like, why is there like this weird, like oily texture on the metal walls and stuff? It just like kind of comes and goes in and out. It's noticeable in like the library level, when you're on the pillar bottom, stuff like that. If you're like close to the walls, it has like this weird like effect that kind of comes in and out. So that's fine, but when you're outside the environments looking at the trees and the organic textures, it's really good looking. That being said, let's get into the negatives because that was the positives.
Right.
To start out with, the new missions completely suck ass. There's no freedom whatsoever in these missions. I miss the freedom of Halo when you could go and explore. That also continues into the remake levels of the 10 original levels. They have put boundaries up. They have removed speedrunning tactics and other skips in the game. For example, Mission 2, Halo, when you go to the second half of that stage, there used to be a skip where you could kill all the Marines. Now you have to either kill all the Marines and kill all the enemies or save the Marines. So it's drastically slows down the pace of the game. And that's not just in that level. There's several other levels where this exists, where they have put these barriers and limitations up to where you have to kill all the enemies to progress. It used to be you could just run past stuff. Yeah, I know that's like some people don't play the game like that or whatever, but some people do, and that's what Halo has been about. They even have achievements in the previous games for speedrunning the game. And now there's just limitations because reasons. Another slight positive negative, I will say I do like the redesign of some levels. Like, for example, the library. I feel like it's better in some areas, but it also misses some of the aspects of the original game. That goes with cutscenes as well. I feel like they took out cutscenes that needed to be there, and now they're just no longer there. For example, when Master Chief interacts with the bridge on the level Halo and turns it on, there used to be a cutscene that shows that Master Chief is the one that can interact with Forerunner technology. Now you just miss that. It's just, oh, okay, you hit the button, the bridge goes. The way Cortana looks, she is terrible. Go back to Halo 4, Cortana. You did it right the first time. Just do that again. I don't know why you have to redesign Cortana every single game. You've had it right. Also, you messed up with Cortana's voice lines. She now just kind of like monotone in a lot of aspects, or like she doesn't deliver the line as much. Like for example, in the older Halo, she would be more like emotional or dramatic with her lines. Now she's just kind of says them the same in every line.
Mm-hmm.
And Cortana's annoying as fuck in this game. She just says like, "Oh, there's guys over here now." It's like, Yeah, I know. Like, I don't know why Cortana has to be like the fairy from The Legend of Zelda, where he's just always in your ear. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. I know there's people over there, Cortana. Shut the hell up. So,
Is that it?
uh, oh, they ruined Sergeant Johnson as well. They tried to make him funny like every time. Like, just write Sergeant Johnson like he was.
Mm-hmm.
The new levels are also buggy as fuck. They break constantly. I've had to restart the checkpoint
The
or levels several
prequels.
times. Yeah, the new levels that they've
Mm-hmm.
made. I've had it to where the level just Sergeant Johnson just loses tracking and he won't go to the objective. So I've had to restart the mission. There's several times where he's just lost his pathing, and I've either had to punch him to the objective or just restart the mission because I can't go back to him.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, fair critiques. Everybody's tastes are different for sure, and everybody is going to play this looking for stuff at differently for sure, right? Like, I'm a massive Halo fan too. I've been ever since the original, but I've never like I guess dissected each one. So like whenever I play them, I kind of just like take them in. You know what I mean? And
Oh, and this is another point. Spider-Man
yeah,
UE5 is also trash. It's a constant stutter fest on PC. So
I haven't, dude. On me for me, are you Nvidia, Jasper?
yeah,
Okay. I've seen a lot of people having troubles with Nvidia for some reason, and they even had like a driver update. I don't know if you
yeah, they
got
had a
that
patch
updated.
for it. Yeah,
But
yeah.
for me, when it was running on AMD, it ran fucking flawlessly. Like I didn't have one stutter, one anything. It was running like in ultra settings, like over 120 plus frames like the whole time, and zero issues, no crashes, no bugs, nothing. So it ran like, I don't know, it's like seems like an Nvidia issue that they're working around on that, which is surprising because usually it's reversed.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, the
Usually
Magnum,
I'll
it
have
doesn't have as
issues.
much of a punch as I would like. I feel like
I
it's
did notice
missing some
that.
impact tonight.
So I'll get into my positives and stuff, and negatives. Um, the the main thing that I had going into it was like it looked like at first like his Halo campaign Unreal Edition. You know what I mean? Like it just has that. It had that Unreal, the UE engine kind of aesthetic to it that kind of like is the signature that is across lots of Unreal games. And that was something I was like hoping they were able to find a way to not have, even though it is in Unreal Engine. Um and that was like kind of mind fucking me for a while because it kind of felt like Halo, kind of played like Halo, it looked like Halo, but then it also kind of looked like an Unreal game. So it was kind of like just messing with my mind for a while, and I wasn't able to shake it. Eventually that wore away, right? Now the stupid thing is like you can't turn off film grain
Yeah.
and chromatic aberration and stuff like that. Like
I
they
think that
they
might be part of the problems that I have when I see like those like
yeah.
weird textures on the
Like
wall.
there's this little grit that's part of UE too that
Yeah.
like is a part of that signature that like I would like to turn off, and like having
Yeah.
that there kind of helps reinforce that unrealness to me. So like I would like the option to turn that off, and hopefully they do that with the update. But like I said, over time it started wearing off, and I was just like taking it all in. And I remember like the remaster, aesthetic Halo anniversary game they had.
Yeah.
And when I look at this remake comparatively to that, my biggest positive here is they kept the tone of the level
That's
design with the remake as opposed to the original, when I forget who did it. The first one was like Saber or so I can't remember who did it, but like
yeah, that
whoever
was
they
another
did
positive
that.
I had is the art style for this game. I feel like they finally captured the art
Yeah.
style of Halo that I've been wanting instead of that kind of cartoony, colorful stuff that they've had in like Infinite and
Yes,
Halo
the
Wars
art
2.
art style, the art style screamed Halo, and because
Yeah.
of the art style, they captured even more than Infinite. Like even more than Infinite, I feel like they did a better job with the design of the levels and the like architecture to make it feel more like part of the original universe. right? Instead of like,
Yeah.
this is the new iteration, this is the new iteration. And it got so like modular looking and feeling and like kind of um like simplistic in a lot of design ways that they had
Yeah.
for some of the other Halo games. This, they captured the real essence of Halo in the art design. I would like, again, if you could turn off the film grain, because I think I'd be able to appreciate that even more.
Yeah.
Um, the some of my pluses also like the extras that they have in there, like the remix. They have the added like costume or outfits, skins, and they
See,
have all
I
that,
don't
some of this extra stuff. It's
I don't
pretty
really care
cool.
about the camos, but I do appreciate the idea of the remix mode.
Yeah. There's more skulls. There's other stuff too. Like I don't know. I've never sped run anything before, so like I can't really speak to that. My argument, just for the sake of it, against that would be that this is a full on remake, more so. So I don't know if necessarily everything would be 100% the same, as much as like people would want, because it is made like with new tech and new engine and all that kind of stuff. So
I mean, I think that's where the limitations come in, is because they had to
right.
redesign this game in UE5. So when they recoded it, you lost a lot of those older tactics that you
Yeah.
would normally
So
do.
it's kind of like, do we really what do we want? You know what I mean? Do we want them to fully re-envision it and remake it with the ground floor, something new, or do we want it just another skin? You know what I mean? And if we completely do everything exactly like the original, 100%, then at that point, then it's just another skin on top of a game. You know what I mean? So in that sense, like I will grant them leniency on not getting everything 100% like spot on, like
Yeah, I mean,
with the accuracy
if
on that stuff. You know?
I will give them passes on some of the like the speed running stuff or whatever, but the major problem I have with the remake, besides that, is just they lost a lot of the tone and impact in several of the levels due to line delivery and missing cutscenes.
So yeah, so here's like I can have nitpicks too. Like so overall, I'm gonna say like I immensely enjoyed it. I play the way I play Halo games. I play through them on by myself on heroic difficulty. Right. I find it challenging enough, to where I'm not. It's not insane. Like legendary can be pretty fucking insane at times, right? But heroic, you may die occasionally. You're in a fight for your life. You'll die sometimes, and you can eventually push through it and push through those sections and stuff. And um, it's how I've like played Halo games for a long time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like the difficulty in the firefights played out very Halo-y. Like the firefights, I felt were Halo, and I'll get into some nitpicks and some things that I feel like they could do better on that I think would enhance that. Um, but I felt like the grenade, melee, headshot, like all of those kind of things were there and satisfied that like classic kind of style Halo gameplay. Um, where I now I immensely enjoyed my time with it. I overall like I think it was a solid remake. There was a couple things that could have just pushed it over the top, and these are the couple of nitpicks that I have. Is the overall audio design doesn't have the same weight and punch like the original game did. So, and I think a lot of times when we're playing games, we don't realize how much of an effect audio makes on things. And the shotgun was very satisfying, right? But a lot of the other assault rifle, I feel like, was really pretty good too. But besides that, a lot of the other weapons didn't have the same feeling or magnitude of weight and impact like they did in all the other Halo games, right? So, and I think that could be an Unreal thing, or it could be an audio thing as well, with just how they like just make that impact in
Yeah, audio
sound.
plays a major impact to the weapons, and
Yeah,
I,
it in
the
every
Magnum
game.
just doesn't do it in this for some reason.
Yeah, and the Magnum, because that feels weaker too.
Yeah,
So like I think that the audio design in general, especially with the weapons, could have used more work to add more weight and punch to them. The atmospheric music as well, I think could have been jacked up a little bit. It was
yeah.
good. I think the music was really good and complemented the levels well, but it wasn't as like it's almost like invasive in the original Halo games where it kind of like takes over to where you can't help but just take in that music when it hits. It's like it just is something
I feel
special
like
when you
a
like are
part of
in those levels.
I think part of the music issue is due to the fact that there is sprint in the game, so you get through a lot of the sections much quicker. So the soundtrack lasts only like 10 seconds, where in the previous game there was no sprint, so you were having to walk through the canyon, and it would
Yeah,
take you a minute and a half to 2 minutes. So you constantly had that soundtrack playing.
yeah, I think even more so than that, like, because that's something that you have like personal control over, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's the mix of the audio. Like, whoever did the audio mix of this game was not Mario Don, obviously, right? And when they did it, they didn't add the same levels to different things, you know. So like guns. Now maybe if I would play with sliders and adjust things myself and tweak it, I could try and capture that different level. But then I'd be having to jack up the audio to try and
Yeah.
balance it out myself. You know what I mean? Like, but like I think the overall like ambient music and the levels and the songs that take over, um, and the weapons were not as on level. Also, the enemy chatter was there, but it wasn't as like distinct and pronounced as
Loud. Yeah.
much. Yeah, so like there's certain things that I think overall the audio mix has such a massive impact in games that we don't realize, and I think overall that was lacking in this just comparatively. And I think that adds to a lot of the things that like make it something feel like it does. They cap the aesthetics, they hit spot on, right?
And I
They
think
just
I
if
think
they
that was
get that
another
audio
issue with the
mix to match
tank.
it.
The tank, when you shot it, it was very quiet, and it
Yeah.
also didn't help for me in my experience. Like every like 2 or 3 tank rounds, like especially on the Sultan, the control room, uh, or 2 betrayals, whichever one. When you
Mhm.
when you get the tank on the ice level, um, the explosions just don't show up. Like the effect doesn't show up. It was like a weird
Mhm.
glitch where like every other explosion I would get, and the every other one I wouldn't. And that also
Right.
happened with my shield and my crosshair. Like sometimes my shield bar would just be invisible and I couldn't see it, or my crosshair. It was vice
Mhm.
versa. Like I'd get to a cutscene and then it would flip. So I'd get my shield, but then my crosshair would go away.
Yeah, it's like you heard is like different sound effects were louder than in the other Halo games as opposed to what would be louder, that have been. So like if they had I think that they needed to tweak the audio mix. And like the Scorpion tank too, like man, when you shoot that Scorpion tank in the original hit, it is so loud, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it is crazy. I mean, it's like holy shit. And I think just overall, nitpicky wise, like that's something that has a massive impact that I think they could tweak and work on. The Other than that, though, like I said, like I had a blast playing through it. Um, and it kept me wanting to keep going. It kept me wanting to keep going. Like I didn't have like this tail off where I was like, okay, I'm gonna put it down and then not go back to it like for a couple days. Like I was excited to get back to it, the next day, and excited to start it again, and then go and look for the skulls, like and do all that stuff. So I've been enjoying my time with it more than just a playthrough and I'm done, right? Which is something that if it didn't feel good to play, I probably wouldn't be even messing with. But it still feels good. It feels a little different, but it still feels good. I like the prequel missions, and they're not like incredible or whatever, but I did like them. I feel like they added a little bit to it. I know everybody's making a big deal about that character, the female character. or whatever. She didn't really bother me. Like, I understand the whole ODST dynamic with Chief and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Story wise, it made sense. I thought the certain sections were fun to play. I liked the brutes with the like shooting the glowing red thing on their chest to trigger them to go like berserk mode and stuff, because it kind of added another level of strategy. Whereas like, okay, I'm gonna aim for them off in the distance and let them fuck each other up for a little while, and then I'll get mixed up in there. So like, there's definitely aspects that I appreciated with the prequels.
Yeah, I
And
just feel like the new missions, they stopped all momentum. Like you would be fighting in a room, you get through it, and then you have to wait for Sergeant Johnson to come open the door. It's like,
right,
just let me keep going, bro.
you don't have Cortana yet. You don't have Cortana yet, man.
And then that's not even the worst part is if Sergeant Johnson accidentally shoots you, it's a one-hit kill no matter what.
Right.
So I've died at least 3 times by Sergeant Johnson shooting me.
With his Mac gun.
Yeah.
That's great. What does it say? Sorry, Chief. Yeah, overall, I just really I loved it. I think that overall, there's some more work they can do and learn going into what they do next. Do you think they're going to do this with Halo 2? The same thing?
Part of me says I hope not. And the
Halo
other
2
part of me is
Anniversary,
like,
they did a good job with, right?
yeah, if just put out Halo 2 Anniversary in its own package again, that's fine, and then you can work on 3. Like, just leave 2 alone, please.
The reason though, I am curious if they do 2, like, can they build upon what they learned with 1 and make it even better? But
I don't think
also,
Halo Studios can make anything better.
yeah, it wasn't that bad, man. Come on. Now, I understand you're like, now when you play games, you look at things differently than I do. Like, and with 3-bit does too. And 3-bit like enjoyed it overall. He had some nitpicks too. Like, 3 Halo fans, each taking way different things from the game, right? Overall, you beat it 3 times. Are you going to keep playing this, or are you going to put it down and never play it again?
I have, like, 5 or 6 more achievements to go back and get. I will continue to play. I'll come back to this game every now and then, but I think if I want to play Halo 1, I'm still gonna go back to MCC. The
Right.
one thing that I will never touch again, especially now that I have all the achievements for the bonus missions, I'm never touching the bonus missions again. I absolutely despise those. They feel
Yeah.
like a mix between Halo 5 and 4, and they're just terrible. They're just terribly designed levels, in my opinion.
I didn't get that feeling at all when I was playing the, like, I've seen some people like hate them and stuff too. Like, I don't know what, like, I was playing through them and it felt like these levels could have been in any other Halo, like, and I was like, okay, yeah, like the room designs was similar to other Halo games. The way the enemies came out of the rooms were similar to other Halo games, and everything. I was just playing more Halo. It felt like it
I
fit.
think it just
I don't know.
I think the main problem for me is just the amount of times that the new levels have broken on me has just annoyed the crap out of me.
So is that like crashes or
It's not crashes, it's just most of it is Sergeant Johnson's pathing breaking, and he can't get to the door to
really?
open it. And that's another problem. There's too many fucking doors to open. So when I have to wait on Sergeant Johnson or his pathing just breaks and he can't move, then I have to restart the level.
That's never happened to me.
It's literally like every time. It's if I go through the 3 levels, 1 out of those 3 levels is gonna break.
Do you think it's because you're speed running them, or possibly?
Possibly, like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you play it like a normal human being, if the same thing would happen. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, let me kill every single grunt, okay.
that's what normal people do when they play Halo. They play and beat the enemies, and are like, "Hey, these are alien scum, Covenant. We have to annihilate them." I understand
But I
there's the
mean,
Jaspers of the world though, right?
even
So
I played the new levels on Remix last night, and it's the first new level. The first gravity lift that Sergeant Johnson activates, he just got stuck in the middle of the gravity lift. He wouldn't
yeah.
go up it. And I couldn't go back down to punch him, so I had to restart the level.
Huh. Hmm. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like maybe it's an Nvidia thing. I don't know how that would be an Nvidia thing though. Has anybody else in the chat had any issues with the prequel levels breaking on you with the pathing of Sergeant Johnson, or is this a Jasper issue? Black John says, I think Kid Smooth had one of those issues. So I'm sure it's going to come up. I'm sure people are out there are going to notice it. You know, that's something maybe they can fix. I still have to play the third bonus mission, but I haven't had any issues in the first two, Fuzzy said. Razor Ultron, member for 16 months. Appreciate you. Says, welcome to Philly, Jalen Brown, and LeBron. Let's go. Yeah, we'll see how the Sixers do this year, man. I think they are going to give the Knicks a run for their money. Judah Roar says, I have NVIDIA, and I have no issues.
I've had 2 hard freezes where there was one time on Keys, the mission Keys, right when you get to Keys, and I shot a rocket at the flood and it just froze my game. I was able to then go into my Steam app and close the game and restart it. A second time, I want to say it was on one of the new missions. My game just froze and I couldn't even go to my task manager on my computer to close it down or anything. I just had to turn off my computer and turn it back on.
Yeah.
Luckily, I will say, though, the game does save your progress. So I was able to boot up my computer again, start the mission, resume progress. It's exactly where it stopped me. So I didn't have to redo the whole mission. But it's still kind of annoying.
Fair enough. So I give this like my score would be like a solid like 8.7 with some tweaks that could have took it up to the original impact that would have been like in the 9s, you know. If they work on the audio mix primarily for me and add the option to turn off the film grain and the chromatic aberration, I think that would go do wonders for me personally. I'm even scared to ask what you would give it at this point, Jasper.
I am being very generous here because I am a major Halo fan. It gets a 6.5.
Do you feel like Halo is in a different position than a lot of other franchises though, where the fan base itself is so critical of every game that comes out that it can almost be a detriment to what they're able to do. Like, because every Halo fan wants everything to be exactly the same every single time, and every single Halo fan wants very specific things. Like they want the guns to feel like Halo 2, or they want the guns to feel like Halo 1, or they want sprint or no sprint, or they want hey, you got to make sure all the speedrunning things from the very first time we played this game works exactly the same today in a brand new remake. You know what I like? So like there's this there's this thing where it's like they can either push forward and do something new and different and take on a new endeavor, but still trying to please the OG hardcore fans that have such a idealistic view of what's only acceptable. That do you feel like there's like this unobtainable balance that can't be had because you're not going to please everybody, and you're either going to piss off the OGs or you're going to make new fans? Do you know what I mean? Like they're in a weird spot
I
with
think
this.
that's definitely a situation they're in. But for me, I came into this in a different position because if 343 or Halo Studios is going to make a Halo game, I will blindly go into that game with whatever vision they wanted to tell. For Infinite, I thought the gunplay, the movement, all that was good, excellent. I just thought the story of Infinite sucked ass, and I hated the art style. For this Halo remake, I think there's a different expectation because of what the original Halo meant. So when you go into this and you make it again and you don't deliver the story impacts and beats that should be there for this game, that's really the fine line for me of why this gets a 6.5. Like I could forgive the speedrunning stuff. I could forgive the bugs to a certain extent, but I think they just missed a huge impact in emotional storytelling of this game with the decisions that they've changed, and that's why I think it's bad. And also like I don't care about the forge mode or the multiplayer or any of that shit. Like if they put that in there, if they don't, it's fine with me. I don't care. I just with Halo 1, it was such an important story and campaign for a lot of people, and it defined what modern shooters are, and they just missed the mark with the campaign, I feel like, in this game.
Right. I there's like certain games or franchises that I feel like are in this spot because like everybody wants everything to be UE5 or Unreal Engine, right? You have a lot of people asking them to make the next Elder Scrolls game or whatever in Unreal Engine and stuff, and like, oh, the creation engine's so dated and all these other kind of things, and you know they're doing creation engine 3, but for me it's like if you don't use that, then it's not going to be a a Bethesda, so like, but then you have the new age players that are like, no, we want things to look a certain way and we want the certain kind of fluid animation movement mechanics and all these other kind of things that come in physics that come with these kind of games. And it's like there's this like weird state that I think games are in these days with some of these classic franchises where some of the most legendary ones are the most, either you're going to piss off OG people or you're going to isolate yourself into only being for them. And
I think
it's
that's
kind of a
also
weird thing, you know?
I see like people calling me out in the chat and stuff. Like, yeah, I get it, but I think this is also another aspect of where Halo's at, and not just Halo. Like I think it's just culture in the society as a whole, where a lot of people feel like you either hate something or you like something. They don't see the middle ground. Like
Yeah.
to me, like I'm in the middle ground right now with Halo. Like I gave them the criticism that I think is due. I don't hate it. I still love Halo. It's my favorite franchise of all time, favorite character of all time, Master Chief.
Yeah.
So I just I don't want to see Tim become shit.
Right.
So
Well, I mean, it's been pretty well praised from most people, for this remake. So it's like, here's where I'm getting at with this, Jasper. It's like if the general consensus is it's really good, but only the OG Halo fans are the ones saying it's shit now, then what does that mean? Is Halo gonna be shit only because the OG Halo fans say it is? Or is it gonna be good because the newer fans appreciate what it's doing? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like in this interesting spot
I mean,
where,
it's the same thing with it's like again, it's not even just Halo. It's like the new Star Warses that came out. Like
yeah,
there's a lot of people that loved them, and a lot of people like
there's a
original
lot of
Star
people
Wars
that
people are
love
like,
Mandalorian and Grogu. I
yeah,
haven't seen it yet,
yeah.
but I saw a lot of people say, "Hey, that's actually a really good movie," you know. And it's like for me, I'm like I'm sick of Grogu. You know what I mean? And I'm a casual Star Wars fan. I like a lot of the other shit that they've done. You know, so it's kind of like, and it's just like something that with Xbox in general, like a lot of the franchises and a lot of the games get like overly criticized, and a lot of times it's from the fans of those franchises themselves.
Well, I mean,
And
those are also the ones that have the most passion and feeling and
right, and I get
nostalgia
that.
or whatever you want to call it for those games. So when you tarnish or make people not like or just no longer enjoy the thing that they did, you're like,
Hmm.
why are you here? Like, why are you making this garbage?
Right. It's interesting. It's just like I'm not trying to say anybody's right or wrong, or
Yeah.
you're not, or anything. I'm just trying to add like a perspective of the overall kind of grand scheme of like what they're up against. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, they did split space because they thought that's what was best. I talked to numerous times about how I was worried that Halo games weren't gonna feel like Halo, you know?
And I will
And
say
guess
with
what?
UE5 here, I am very worried about the next Halo. Just due to the stutter problems with PC. It's been on. It's not just Halo. It's most UE5 games. I think UE5 has done more damage to gaming than anything in the last 20
I
years.
think it's overhyped, oversold. I think it's like I think it's like, hey, we just like to use these things because people know how to use it, but then apparently nobody does know how to use it because they always have issues with their fucking games, right? So it's like, I'm one that always appreciates the studios that use their own tech and their own engines and kind of develop that. I think that certain studios have really shown great examples, especially in the East, of how to do that properly. Like RGG, it does a lot of their games and their own stuff. They've dabbled with the Unreal Engine as well, but like most of their stuff, including Stranger Than Heaven, is made with their own engine. You have Capcom uses the RE engine, and those games are amazing. You have id with doing id Tech, and that's worked for some of the other projects there as well. Your Creation Engine, whether people like it or don't, because it can be a buggy mess at times. It's led to the thing where you can have a million fucking uh decks of cards in a fucking house if you want to. You know what I mean? Like or potatoes. You know what I mean? You open a door and just fucking potatoes just start falling out. You know what I mean? Like just stuff like that you can't do in other games, right? So I've always been a fan of like companies using their own tech. Uh After the slow output of content with Halo Infinite, I was more on board. Okay, so what are you gonna do, right? They announced they're going with Halo with Unreal. I'm like, if this solves the problems, it gets stuff streamlined. I'm willing to just embrace a new era, right? Uh, whatever Halo becomes now, I'm going to check it out and embrace it as something new, like kind of a new era. The crazy thing with this is the first, and it's almost maybe a mistake to have the first Halo thing that we get in Unreal be a remake because you're confusing the new with the old. So when somebody like Jasper is here playing this game, you have this to live up to. You better not fuck with it, right? Whereas if it was a brand new Halo story, like let's say they did like an offshoot, like side story in Halo, right? And that was the first Unreal game. And they did
I
something and it
think
was like whatever different and it didn't necessarily try and replicate something else exactly. You may have a different outlook on what the experience that you had with this game was as opposed to weighing it out and being like I can't do my speed running things or like the impact
as
of
much as
this
I
didn't hit
want
the same as
Halo to
in the
be
past,
focused on Master Chief, I think Halo Studios just needs to make new ideas. Just make new
right.
games. Just not even with Master Chief. Just make ODST games, other Spartan games. Just because
Well,
Halo Studio, they just can't do anything.
I feel like they can still make good games. I just feel like there's too much weight on them to like be able to. They're not.
I just
I don't know if they're the ones to carry it, but like, can they make Halo
I don't
games?
know if the only time Halo or 343 has made a game that's been completely fine besides like story criticism is Halo 4. The game worked.
That was gorgeous.
MCC broken mess. Halo 5 fucking terrible game just overall. Infinite people had their complaints with like the visuals like Craig and all that shit. And then this Halo, there's still major complaints and bugs.
Yeah, there's
I
going to
just
be
I just
major
don't know if
complaints
Halo's
and stuff with every single Halo game. And that like there's never going to be a Halo release that ever comes out again. That is just going to be, hey, this is like amazing. Let's all just embrace it. Everything's going to be always analyzed to the max because there's a microscope on them, unlike any franchise that's out there. And it comes from the OG Halo fans, but it's also coming from people looking at it outside. Well, the OG Halo fans are saying this, you know what I mean? So yeah, it must be shit or whatever. Like, it's like something that's like, I don't know how they can achieve that except what you're saying, tell new stories, right? Do new things. And I think this is what I said in the Discord the other day. Like, I think that Microsoft and or whatever reason they need to unleash the shackles a little bit, you know, because they're too worried about trying to please and everybody and keep this like stay true to the whatever the Halo Bible was that Bungie left them and all that kind of stuff back in the day and all that, right? They need to unleash the shackles and let the universe expand properly and let other studios work on stuff with new ideas, new interesting stories that they want to tell in the universe and try some different things. And then if that starts happening, then less focus will be attended on the one specific Halo thing we get every 5 years or 6 years or however long it is. It was like 2021 since we got Infinite, right? So it's been 5 years since then, right? So too little Halo, major emphasis put on every single thing that releases to this like massive microscopic level to where the OG fans are like all over it, you know? And then you're not really approaching the new, it's like too much weight is put on every game. You know, it's like you got to expand this universe, I feel like. And it's I think they did a good job, like with the campaign involved. Like, I don't feel like they did a bad job. I think they did a good job. I just don't think it's gonna ever live up to what the OG.
I don't
Halo
think they
fans
would have
want.
ever been able to capture the Halo 1 aspect, but I think they just missed a lot of aspects that could have gave it a more of a fighting chance or a closer score to, or just a closer feeling to that game. They just the sound design, the tone, the delivery, the missing cutscenes. There's just a lot of aspects that really pulled the game back from what it could have been.
That's where like a creative director really needs to put a stamp on things, right? And like, that's why I said I don't know if they're the ones to lead it, right? But I think they're capable of making good Halo games and telling fun stories in Halo. But like, should they be the only stewards of the Halo franchise? No, I don't think. I think this is something that I would say to Asha Sharma and Microsoft. Like, you're willing to take Fallout out of Todd Howard's hands and go over to Josh Sawyer and say, hey, Obsidian, you're making Fallout game. I think it's okay to take Halo out of Halo Studios' hands and have other studios experiment and do some fun things with. Even though they didn't take off into a massive level of huge fandom and stuff like that, Halo Wars is some of the best Halo things we've gotten over the last decade or 2 decades.
Story and Halo, just the story of Halo Wars 2, especially the
amazing, yeah,
Flood DLC at the end. That's like some of the best stories that's come out of Halo in the last 10 years or whatever.
Yeah, and it came from different storytellers.
Yeah,
right. So let unleash the shackles. Let other people experiment and add to this. You know, you can have your like check yes or no. We're not going to allow this, or we're gonna, you know what I mean? Whatever. But they need to release the reins a little bit and have a new emphasis put on building out the universe. And I think overall, if they do that, then when you have the one massive game, it's not all the weight is just on only that. Because who knows when the next Halo thing we're going to get is now. Like, is it going to be another 5 years?
Yeah. I don't
you
know. They canceled all the other projects, they said, so.
So we'll see. This is part of the reason I am a little bit behind Asha's vision with some of this stuff they're doing, putting emphasis on some of the games.
If she can come down on the studios and make them work, and put out good products, then I'll be all on board. But until then, she's got to prove that
Yeah.
to me.
Unfortunately, a part of that does come with this reset that we've been undergoing,
Yeah.
and it also means things when with resets come further delays as things get kind of put back to square zero in some instances. Like there was a canceled Certain Affinity project and other things like that, right? So, even though things may take longer, like hopefully they get to a place where it is more streamlined, so we can get things quick down the road. And hopefully that's the goal with the big franchises, as well as allowing some other studios to do some other cool stuff as well, right? Um, but yeah, good talk on Halo, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep playing it off and on, like I do Halo games. And overall, I am looking forward to the little adjustments and tweaks and stuff that are gonna do with it, and kind of check that out. I think they're learning from this as well, for the future of what they do. So curious how the overall sentiment's going to be. I am also curious how well it sells on PlayStation. There's been some metrics out there. There's nothing really to read into too much yet.
Yeah.
But it's a. I don't think it's going to be something that continues on PlayStation going forward, and with Asha's Xbox. But I am so curious to see, like, was this something that they were craving, or are they going to ignore it like they have other shooters on the box? Because there's another reason that PlayStation stopped making first person shooter games, was because their fan base wasn't buying them, right? So besides Call of Duty, that's really it that they were like investing $70 into every year for shooter games, or $60 back in the day. Besides that, man, we got some interesting news for Gears today.
Yep.
Now you're not as much of a Gears fan as you are a Halo fan, but you are a Gears fan.
Yeah. I did watch the multiplayer video. I'm assuming that's
Yeah.
what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. What did you think?
So
Are we going to get a positive Jasper here? Actually?
Yes, this is positive.
Okay.
This
Wow.
I don't like normal Gears multiplayer. I like the PvE, the Horde content, the Beast mode. Like in Gears 3, Beast mode and Horde mode, like that's where I spent 95% of my time. I just love the co-op aspects of those games, and the defense aspect and stuff like that. So with them showing off this new mode, I forgot what it's called, like 12-person Horde mode or whatever the hell it was called. It looks really cool, and I'm excited to see more and play that. I probably won't touch the normal multiplayer, and I'll just run through the campaign once. So that's about all Gears is for me, is play the campaign and then do the side modes.
Cool, man. Yeah, I like the Horde mode. I always have with Gears. Like they kind of invented that genre,
Yeah.
So seeing them do it's like a 12 person, I think is what it is, with 3 teams of 4.
Yeah.
And it was just really interesting. And then the movement, the thing I like seeing mostly was the new movement mechanics, implementing that in for multiplayer. How they have the slide, and the jumping and all that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be like a little freeing. That's one of the things with Gears is always kind of feel like you're kind of like a little overly grounded at times, So having the new movement mechanics in Gears is going to make it really interesting. And I gotta say, just like the overall, like we talked about tone and stuff with Halo, and how they got a lot of things right aesthetic wise with the tone there. Audio, the tone was there, but it just wasn't amplified enough, I think. But on Gears, from what I'm hearing and seeing, it is like really a return to like old school Gears, in all the best ways. And yes, this is Unreal Engine again. Gears has always been Unreal, so it is going to feel natural in that setting, and on that engine, and they are the masters of Unreal Engine. So I think we're going to be like able to see what the actual capabilities are of Unreal Engine, like maxed like to its strongest capabilities with Gears of War. Which is gonna be interesting to see. Like I'm curious what they're gonna be able to do with it, and because there's nothing that screams that like more than Gears, right? Like they're just able to like max out everything and get the most out of the tools and stuff that have been talked about, and enamored by all these developers. Oh, look at all this technology, look at all this stuff. And it's like Coalition actually utilizes everything properly, while still keeping the spirit of what the game always was, right? And they strayed a little bit with 4 and 5, a little bit more colorful, slightly a little bit
Yeah.
more, a little bit more toned down, not to the extreme, but this is like gritty, gory, gruesome, dark. Tone wise, they brought a lot of the muted grays and browns kind of back into it, mixed in with this new aesthetic with the city, going on. And then also we have this multiplayer that's reinventing the movement a little bit. And it does feel like an evolution of the original trilogy, as
Yeah.
opposed to where Gears of 4 and 5 felt like it started straying a little bit. This feels like going back to the roots, and like even with the multiplayer stuff, like capturing the essence and evolving it, which is, I guess, what we would want for Halo, right? But that's what they're doing here. So, any more thoughts? October the 3rd, I think, or 6th, I think is when it's coming out.
Yeah, something like that. And yeah, I would agree with you. I think this with Halo and Gears, I think this shows an example of where Gears is going back to the tone, listening more to. I feel like they're listening more to the OG fans with Marcus. They've been wanting Marcus. They wanted those darker tones, and I think you see a huge positive reception around Gears. Whereas when you see Halo, they kind of keep doing their own thing that no one's asking for, and you see a lot more mixed or negative talk with the game. So I think that just shows that if you listen and go back to what people have been calling for, you get a much more positive reception. And I don't know if Halo Studios has learned that.
Do you think they know how?
I don't know if they know what Halo is.
I mean, like, I think they do. I don't know if they know necessarily on how to execute the same impact that the other games had. You know, I think that's the biggest thing, the biggest difference, and we'll see if they are able to figure it out. Eventually, I think they will, because Halo's important to them, and it always will be. So
I mean, you
whether
say
it's
that, but
them or
like,
somebody else,
if just look at the TV show. They they just destroyed Master Chief.
well, they didn't have a Todd Howard in control of it, right? Like where you have like the Fallout show where Todd is directly involved.
But you say that, but it was the 343 Kiki Wolfkill or
Kiki
whatever her name
Wolfkill,
was.
yeah,
That yeah, she left, or she like stepped away from 343 to work on the TV show.
yeah, she was behind a lot of that stuff. I mean, we all know the history of Bonnie Ross and Kiki Wolfkill and
Yeah,
and all that. There was a lot made of Pierre Heinz and like him being like an authoritarian kind of figure there. Like he did amazing things with Master Chief Collection, right? Like writing the Master Chief Collection, he was put in charge of that. What you said was a launch disaster for Master Chief Collection.
yeah,
He fixed all that. And Master Chief Collection today, fucking incredible, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of the best experiences you're going to get in gaming. If you go play Master Chief Collection across the board,
Especially for the
it's just,
value of it. It's like you can pick up the entire
oh my
game
god.
sometimes for like $20.
Oh, and all the multiplayer is great. It's fun.
Yeah,
I mean, the amount of work they continue to put into the graphics and all that other kind of stuff. Like, I feel like he figured that out, right? And he's in charge of Halo Studios now. He was in charge of Campaign Evolved, even though a lot of it was contract work it out to other studios, Um, but I am curious more so if like there's that person, you know what I mean? Like if you look at Coalition, right? We don't. I wouldn't be able to tell you the person
Yeah,
anymore.
that's the
So
interesting
like
thing with Coalition is they're not very
it was Rod
like
Ferguson was the face and
yeah
kind of like hey, this is what we're doing, but he's not there, right? But he was kind
they
of
don't really have
behind
that anymore.
Gears 4 and 5, which they kind of strayed a little bit, right? So like so somebody is the person behind the Coalition, right? And then we keep seeing them talk at these different events and all that other kind of stuff, right? But it's kind of shared between a bunch of different, creators. But somebody within the Coalition has kind of set them on the right track, right? Like who is if Gears can do it, Gears can take the tone and course correct 4 and 5 to E-Day, right? Then Halo can do it as well. But I just don't know
But is that
who it is to do that, you
yeah,
know?
is that a new person like whenever Coalition like fired people and then more people came in or when people left more people came in, did someone come in that understood what the Gears IP and identity is that's high enough in the
I don't
position to
know.
where they can decide that?
I
And
I'm not familiar enough with the different developers at the Coalition to be able to give an
yeah,
answer to that, you know what I mean? I was super
and I
familiar with
think
a lot of the Bungie people, right? I was super familiar with
and I think that
people
might
at
be a
Halo
problem
Studios.
with Halo Studios is I think a lot of the devs now may have just come into that studio and not understood the identity of what Halo is. So that's why I'm like, can we just get a clean
Yeah,
slate
but the
with
other
the
people
studio?
that were there weren't the answer, right? So, like Pierre Heinz was the one that did do something positive there, and he's in charge now, right? Like, do you give him
And,
grace
but
to
see,
continue on to see what he's able to do with like his own creation with Halo? You know,
I do. I think he's also in a tough position where I feel like a lot of the people that actually make the game, the lower people on the totem pole, so per se, they don't like his leadership style, and that's why you've seen these reports of he's too harsh or he comes in and yells at me and stuff. Like I don't know if Pierre has enough control because I think there was still that Microsoft 14 steps layer that he was having to face when he was making Halo decisions. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because he did fix Master Chief Collection and he's been there a long time. That I feel like he understands the identity and the property of Halo more so than a lot of the people that actually make the game.
and do you think that's why he has less patience for their bullshit? It seems like I'm not gonna just kind of some people aren't people. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and there's different management styles, and I would say that if you are in a leadership position, you need to learn how to handle that and manage that aspect. At the same point, maybe can be a culture shock when certain things and like freedoms and all these other kind of things and like certain ways of doing things are no longer tolerated under a new leadership, and then it creates this kind of dynamic to where it's like, oh,
See,
like
like
I
Pierre,
have to do
he may
things
not
how he
be
likes, or like what do you mean,
Pierre may not be the best people person, or he may not even be the right person to get this done. But when you watch a lot of the Halo Vidocs and stuff that come out, you'll see like these random developers come on and they'll talk about something, and you're like, that's never been a thing with Halo. Why are you talking about this?
right? Like it was in their mind and their
Yeah,
small
yeah.
like history with it or something, right? Um, I just find it interesting, like the dynamic of trying to course correct the franchise, like and s- and like I see Alvin in the chat said the difference is Gears had been gone long enough that fans would allow a new step. The bar for Halo is literally too high. No dev will ever be able to satiate the fans.
Yeah,
Larian
but Halo
couldn't.
Infinite was 8 years.
Rockstar couldn't. Um, yeah, I mean, Halo's been since 2021. Gears 5 came out what 2019, I think. So it's been
Yeah, something like that.
7 years. And before Halo Infinite to Halo 5, there was what, like 5
I'm
years
not talking
again at
about
that point.
the Halo 3 Vidocs. I'm talking about the new Vidocs that 343 and Halo Studios have made, and their live streams and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm curious, like, what the do you think there's like a mandate from Asha Sharp? Like, Phil's very here's the difference between, I think, Phil and Asha. Phil was very creative friendly,
Yeah, he was
right?
hands off. Let people make
Yeah,
what
like,
they
hey,
want.
you guys,
Yeah,
just show us what you're working on occasionally. Everything's good. We're hands off, and um, Asha's more looking at this business wise, less like, I'm here to allow you guys just to have a free for all with creative mindsets, right? It's more about like, we need to get shit done kind of mentality, and I think there's a level of weight that she has with certain franchises at Xbox that are going to be like, okay, if she was to ground, what is Xbox, right? What is our franchises? What are we known for? What is the identity? Well, this year's a great example going into next year. Halo, Gears, Forza, Fable, right? That's the
yeah. She
old school
looked at
identity.
Xbox and said, What is our Mount Rushmore?"
Yeah,
And
that I
she
mean
took those
that
IPs
would
and
be
we're
the
like,
Mount
"Let's
Rushmore,
yeah,
right, of the original Xbox, right? Like, those four franchises, and literally they're like releasing in sequential order of like Forza, Halo, Gears, and then Fable between now and 2027. So you have that, right? So that's laid out before her. This is your Mount Rushmore of franchises. Beyond that, you also now have Call of Duty, right? You also have um Fallout, you have Elder Scrolls, right? You have Diablo, you have StarCraft, you have World of Warcraft, or Warcraft if you want to just talk about the franchise specifically, right? Um, I would say Overwatch at this point as well is definitely a massive staple in gaming.
I mean, I
And
feel like a lot of Blizzard IP in general, it's just
yeah,
they just do live service games pretty well, and they keep concurrent players.
so if I was Asha, you add in their Doom. I would say Doom. You have Quake. I would put there as well. Like, I'm talking about legendary franchises that they are now the
Yeah,
stewards of, right? That, okay, you have opportunities here to actually do something massive with. I think those are the ones she's looking at, and I think there's going to be different weight and different level of accountability had with managing these franchises at Xbox than they were in the previous
I
era.
wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised if she takes a look at like Halo, for example, or Gears coming out. If she takes a look at the numbers that these games do and really focuses down on those studios, like if this Halo doesn't sell what they were expecting, or if it doesn't make a profit or whatever it is, I feel like she's going to be the person that actually comes in and tries to figure out what is wrong with Halo Studios itself and the game, the IP. Whereas I think Phil would have just been like, "Oh, that one just didn't hit."
Right. Or like, this was because of this, or because of this, or
Yeah,
because of this, and instead, like, an
yeah,
Asha's like, and maybe it's not going to be that way. I don't know. I'm just trying to read the
yeah.
room and what I see as how she's handled things so far, and the messaging that she's putting out, to where I think what the mindset could be going forward. And I think there is going to be this different level of accountability with it, where she's going to expect results from those franchises and expect the studios to actually output games and be able to hold them up, because you don't want to have your biggest IP lose value, right? It's like, Marvel with the MCU, they stumbled. Okay.
Yep. After Endgame, it just
Yeah.
hasn't been the same.
Yeah, they stumbled, but they're on a resurrection now. The massive resurrection. Like Fantastic Four hit.
Did it?
It did. People liked Fantastic Four. Spider-Man Brand New Day massively hit. Like it is
Spider-Man. I feel like it's a hard miss on Spider-Man, honestly.
But if this movie didn't deliver,
yeah,
it would be a different story. But I mean, you look at the stuff that people are saying out there about this movie. Like, you know, if they delivered like Spider-Man 3, right? The original Spider-Man 3 I'm talking about, or something. You know what I mean? Like, people would be like, okay, like it's, you know, if they had like him walking around like acting like emo Spider-Man, all like, you know what I mean? Like, if it didn't deliver, you wouldn't have this reaction online right now because of the expectations that were here and the anticipation, right? Like, Brand New Day is absolutely fucking incredible. Fantastic Four did hit. There's a lot of hype right now for Avengers Doomsday. We don't know how it's going to land, right? But like MCU kind of had through this like multiverse phase where it's like they were trying something, it wasn't working. You know, you had a lot of CG issues and stuff where all of a sudden the CGI and shit wasn't up to par. You know, you could blame COVID or them
and then I
spreading
feel like
themselves.
they tried to put out
thin.
too much content with the TV shows. Like the TV shows just started,
they
really tanking the.
Kevin Feige said this, and it's almost like he said what Asha said. He was like, "We had spread ourselves too thin." Like he said that in interviews the other day after San Diego Comic-Con, and doing interviews there, talking about like we're focused more on quantity now, quality, not quantity. Like we're really like we had spread ourselves too thin, and we're trying to deliver great stories and great content, and you know, and that's why there's not going to be 2 movies next year. There's going to be, there's going to be Avengers Doomsday this year, and then you're going to have Secret Wars next year. That's why there's not going to be another movie. He said, you know, it's like they're focused on delivering that, and MCU is rebounding again. Like this Spider-Man movie is going to be breaking records. You know, so they've done it. Have this rebound. The theaters are packed. It seems like Gears is going to do it. I mean, do you have the feeling that Gears is actually going to
I have
land?
a feeling that Gears this is probably going to be the biggest Gear since Gears 2 or 3. Like, I think this Gears is going to be on a whole nother level that we've seen from Xbox games itself in a while. Like, besides Forza and stuff, like Forza is like a very casual game, so they get a lot of players, but just the general hype and marketing and the overall talk, I feel like Gears is going to be really a big step for them this year.
Besides like Call of Duty and like Black Ops 6 and stuff like that, I feel like Gears E-Day could be the biggest like traditional like Xbox release like that actually hits since the 360 era.
Yeah.
As opposed to discounting Forza Horizon games. Okay, I'm discounting.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, because it's a
Horizon,
very casual game and it gets everyone in.
Yeah, so like,
I think if Gears, assuming there's no launch issues and the multiplayer works and there's plenty of content, like, I think Gears is in a very good position.
Yeah. So we can have a Gears rebound. I think they're back. After seeing the stuff I saw today, after seeing the trailers, the showing that they had at Summer Showcase, I think Gears is back and is going to be delivering 360 levels of hype when it launches. Like, I really feel that it is going to kind of be embraced. I hope so. I really do. It's not just because it's exclusive. You know, it's not just any of that. I think the PC it's gonna have.
I think it would be even bigger if it was on PlayStation. Honestly,
it could, but it's not.
We'll never know now. Yeah,
they can play it on fucking PC if they want, or on whatever, right? But like, I don't think not being on PlayStation is going to be a detriment for any of these games. You know what I mean? Like Forza Horizon kicked ass without being on PlayStation yet. You know, like if the game's gonna hit, it's gonna hit. You know,
Yeah.
I think like people will show up for it. If it's a hit, if it is going to hit, it'll be a hit regardless of where it's at. So, I think Gears E Day is going to deliver. I've seen some bullshit takes already being like, it's you know the Gears. I have massive concerns, and it's just the articles on because it's not on fucking PlayStation. You know what I mean? It's like they need to get over it at this fucking point. Like they've been ever since that fucking announcement was made at the showcase, of Gears not being on PlayStation. The media has fucking lost their shit, bro. Like it's literally been like a year and a half of no of exclusivity going away. They feel like they had what they've had always wanted and have finally obtained it, and it was snatched out from their fingertips. It was like they got to like suckle on the nipple for a second, and it was just fucking taken out of their mouths. It was like, why tease me with this shit? Sorry, guys. They tease you. They've taken it back away. You're going to have to play Marcus Phoenix somewhere else. You're going to be able to play with them on PC or play with them on your fucking Xboxes. The Greg Millers of the world and the people writing all those fucking dumbass articles can go kiss some ass. It literally doesn't matter. If it's going to hit, it's going to fucking hit. Okay? I think Gears E-Day is going to hit, and they don't need PlayStation to fucking hit. So stop with your bullshit articles saying that it's a necessity, blah, 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 blah. There was people talking about, oh, Gears fans were upset about it. Bullshit. When has Gears fans ever been upset about a game not being on PlayStation? In the history of the entire time that it's ever existed, it was only on fucking Xbox, except for one game, and it was another remake. And it didn't even sell that well over there. So get over it. However, it would sell better, of course, as any game released. The more places it's at, it would sell better.
Yeah,
But
it's just
will it
like
sell good enough?
I
Yeah,
see
it
with
will.
Gears, like I think the reason this Gears would have done better on PlayStation is just because if this hype is here, especially when you have games like this, when they have a lot of hype around it, and if a lot of the community starts talking about it and casuals start posting TikToks and random clips and stuff, that's when you get that huge like spread of just people wanting to jump in when they see the videos. And I think Gears has the potential to do that this time around.
Yeah.
Uh, just bring in a lot of people.
Well, any game does.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Well, some more than others.
well, I mean, if it hit, any game that hits, yeah, it obviously
Yeah.
has a potential to, the more places you are, the more it's going to sell. But, they're changing their strategy to, like, focus on the platform again. So, like, it is what it is. Like, it doesn't affect me either way, right? But
Yeah,
I
I mean, I
think
don't care either way, yeah.
overall, like, it's just going to be like, I don't think it's going to have any impact on if the game succeeds or not. You know what I mean? Which, like, I think some people are, like, putting on there, like, it has to be there to succeed. You don't even have to be on fucking console to succeed these days. I mean, you know how many PC games release that just fucking have hundreds of thousands of concurrent players that never even launch on console? Like, tons. The number one played game is fucking Counter Strike.
Counter Strike and then
And like
Dota, I think is up there too.
yeah, it's on consoles technically, in versions.
Yeah, from the three.
Nobody fucking plays those
360,
things,
but
or
yeah.
and they didn't
Yeah.
take off when they launched either. So it's like it is what it is. I think it's gonna be interesting watching the Gears release though, man. It's gonna be interesting just kind of seeing all that. But I think Gears has a resurrection. Forza Horizon obviously doesn't need one. It's doing amazing still.
I think Call of Duty is going to come back a lot bigger this year too, compared to Black Ops 7 or 6, whatever.
It's
the
in
hell
an
it
every other year cycle, man.
was. Yeah.
I mean, they put their stupid ass, half-ass shit games every other year.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's really Call of Duty is more so a every 2 year mainline franchise for me. And it's whatever shit they funnel in between those years is what we get, and they're just turning them into full releases now. Right?
Yeah.
And this is kind of what they've done. We got that with and the biggest mistake they made is calling them Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 7. They should have called them something else.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with the one after this if they continue that
Yeah.
kind of release like DLC thing or whatever, or if they just make an actual new game again.
Yeah. That'll be interesting, yeah, for sure. Do you think Halo can? Well, I mean, if Gears hit, does that give you faith in the potential for Halo to come back again with a new game?
I want to say yes, just because I'm a really big Halo fan.
They
But-
strayed. I mean, remember Gears strayed with 4 and 5 a little bit, and not. I mean, not as much as.
Yeah, but 343 is just so bad.
But here, hold on.
in-
What if it's not just up to them, right?
That's why if Asha can take away the Halo property from them, and like I know people are gonna be like, yeah, but all the Halos are great, or like they're all fine, whatever. You cannot come away from the point that 343 had to literally change the studio's name because they were so bad.
Yeah, like a rebranding.
Yeah, they had to rebrand the entire studio because they were so bad. So I just don't have faith in Halo Studios
So,
themselves.
are you considering their UE5 experience a starting point or a failed test? Because I consider it a starting point, like of something that's pretty good. You know,
It's definitely a starting point. They have a lot to work on, though.
so do you
they
think?
can't if the next game comes out and it's in the state that this game is for me, especially a mainline Halo game.
What would your reaction be if tomorrow news came out that they are abandoning Unreal Engine and going back to Slip Space and reworking on that?
Honestly, I have no idea because like part of me wants that, but if they come out and say that, then it's just another.
It'd fucking be chaos. Yeah,
I know it's another. I was gonna say it's another point that studio has no idea what the hell they're doing.
what if it's announced along with the formation of a different studio, or like, or a different studio that we are familiar with is going to be working on it, or let's say like another studio we're familiar with is going to be working on it in Unreal Engine. You know what I mean? Like,
I think the best thing they could have done, which they didn't do, to this point of like engine talk, is continue the mainline games in Slip Space and then have your spin-offs or let other studios work on it in UE5 if you wanted to.
like
So that way you have both. Yeah.
Do you think they abandoned Slip Space too soon on a whim because of their issues after Infinite launch?
Yeah. Yes,
I mean,
no. Like
it's hard to say when we don't know what
Yeah,
kind of shit show
that's
they
what-
were dealing with, right?
because even if you look at like because Split Space was basically an update or 2.0 to the Blam engine. They were remaking this engine with a lot of the Blam code. The same thing which Destiny had to deal with. Like if you look at the original Destiny, Bungie made Destiny off of the Blam engine originally, and they had a lot of issues with Destiny 1 getting content out, and it kind of continued over into Destiny 2. But they got to a point with Destiny 2 where they were able to make more expansive content. And it still wasn't the best, but they got to a point where they could do that. Destiny 1, it took them a long time. And I think that's kind of the same issue that Halo Studios had is they were in a very infant state with the Slip Space engine, and they needed a longer time to understand it and cook with it to get content out at a higher quality and faster. And they just didn't have that time. So, and they went to UE5.
Brett Bingham says the understanding I had and that Jez reported on was that UE5 was to put out the remakes fast, while Halo Studios still used Slip Space for future Halo games. That's not what they said. I don't know what what report you're talking about, Jez, but like they literally had when they did the Unreal announcement video, and then they had the interviews after that. That this was like Halo was moving to Unreal, and that was the future of Halo. And Halo Campaign Evolved was going to be the start of that journey for them, and that they had multiple projects in the works. Um, so I don't know about that. I'm not familiar with that report that you're talking about, but that's not what was put out to the public from Halo Studios or from Xbox or anything like that in any of their announcements that they made regarding UB5. Um, Originally, it was stated under Bonnie Ross that they didn't make the move to Unreal at the time because they were concerned with being able to capture the feeling of Halo
Yeah.
and Unreal, which I had concerns over that as well. I will say that Halo Campaign Evolved eased some of those concerns because it's not as far off as I hoped, and if there was a new future going in to Halo from here, I think there's some tweaks they could do and stuff that would definitely make it work. But it's aesthetic wise, it's actually closer than what they've been doing in Slipspace and even in Blam Engine for a while now. So like I think that aesthetic wise they're on the right track. Um Feeling wise, guns need a little more punch. Audio mixing needs to be reworked, but that's probably a separate issue from the actual engine. That's whoever's in charge of that, the composer or whatever. But I think that they are focused on Unreal with their future Halo games at Halo Studios. So, um, not sure about that, but shout out to you, 3-Bit. Thanks for hopping in, bro.
And they also came out and said that they've canceled the two other future Halo projects that they were working on, or at least put them
Yeah,
on pause.
that's where I'm curious about because those were Unreal projects as well,
Yeah.
right? So, like, I'm curious, like, where this lands with them. Like, I think that it's a good game, and I think um, they did well in a lot of aspects. Doesn't live up to the standard that they would have for Halo and decide to push forward with Unreal? Or is that going to be another decision to make going forward? And because this was, I think, a test, as they called it originally.
Yeah, I don't know. I think to me, it comes down to also a lot of level design. Like especially when you play this game, if you play a lot of the Bungie made levels, the original 10, they just have such a different feel to them than the new 3 bonus levels. And I don't know if 343 knows how to make a game that captures Halo.
Yeah, we'll see.
And that's not an engine
Do,
issue.
right. Like you're just talking about choices in decision making
Yeah.
on impact moments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. Um I see some of the chat. You can't top infinite multiplayer, in my opinion. I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, infinite multiplayer is fucking astounding. Gameplay
Yeah.
wise, it's the best playing Halo multiplayer.
Yeah.
Map wise, they have some good maps. Not Halo 2 and Halo 3 were the benchmark for map design in Halo history. Depending on which is your favorite Halo of all time, either people are gonna usually pick 2 or 3, depending on one, age, and two, like what you jived with more. Like I loved
Yeah.
both Halo 2 and 3 multiplayer.
Same.
Halo
I think
2,
I always choose Halo 2 for the campaign. Just the feel and the vibe of that campaign is excellent, and I always choose 3 for multiplayer due to the creativity and fun factor that came along with Forge.
yeah.
It was such a community game back then.
Are you dual wielding or no dual wielding?
Uh, Not really dual wielding. You just use BR. Who dual wields?
Yeah.
That's
Lots made of that. I see Brett Bingham saying that there's no dual wielding, so therefore, like, Halo 3 was the best. Like, no, like,
yeah. I mean, it's I can take it or leave it. It doesn't really matter to me.
yeah. I think Halo 2 was like kind of the peak of like that, um, the Halo dance of combat. It's where it was refined. It
Yeah.
was where it was like came from. The BR, was there. You had um the dance of the grenade melee shoot. The sniper rifle, the level designs, everything like was just peak. Halo 3 amped it up. I think that was the best jump from one multiplayer to the next, and just like changing things up, keeping things fresh, having more great maps. So really there's no wrong answer whether you like Halo 2 or 3 the most. Some people like Halo Reach multiplayer the most because they
Yeah.
had some other really cool, great stuff in there, and I agree with that too. They had some awesome stuff with some of the like the jetpack and all that kind of shit, and like different mechanics you could do. Um, yeah, it's interesting playing a Halo game without multiplayer as well. Now I know like the original Halo 1, like Combat Evolved, the multiplayer was only, unless you did LAN parties or hooked up to something like XB Connect or something like
I
that.
mean,
It wasn't online, so
even Halo Anniversary, when it came out in 2011, they didn't have multiplayer. They only made 4. They remade 4 maps into Halo Reach. It was a little DLC
yeah.
they had.
Master Chief Collection is amazing if you want to try all the different multiplayers out and get a feel, for all of them. A Halo 2 Anniversary's multiplayer is fucking peak, man. Like absolutely amazing. Was hoping to try multiplayer in this, just because of UE5. I wanted to see, like, it's hard to test a Halo game when all you're getting is the campaign. Like, because Halo, for the future iterations, if they do another UE5 remake, right? If we get Halo 2 UE5 edition next, you got to have the multiplayer in there. Otherwise, we're just remaking campaigns. What's the next mainline Halo? Are these
I mean, I think
campaign
that's what they
remakes
do,
gonna?
honestly, because I think that was their whole goal, was to remake the campaigns and then just have whatever the mainline Halo is as the multiplayer.
Yeah. Black John says I hated Reach's multiplayer. That's the reason 4 had classes too. 4's multiplayer, like, it tried to introduce the whole like loadout system and all that kind of shit. Like kind of Call of Duty did a little bit with how that stuff works. I think map design Halo 4 lacked some, but gameplay wise, Halo 4's multiplayer was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
gameplay wise, that Halo 4's multiplayer was absolutely amazing. Honestly, it is one of the most
I will
fun
say
to
that
play.
is the positives that 343 does have with me is their multiplayers, even though they're all kind of different, they all hit pretty good.
Yeah, they've landed really with multiplayers. They just struggled with the
Yeah.
campaigns. Halo 5. My biggest issue with Halo 5 was like that's when it felt the slowest to me. For some reason, Halo 5, I felt so slow, and I don't know why exactly, but it's hard going back from Infinite to Halo 5. Even though it was good, really fun to play. Um, and I hated the usage of the Forge maps and the matchmaking.
That's the new thing I hate with what they do is they make like 6 original maps that are all bad, and then they just let the community make forged
Well,
maps.
I don't like with Infinite. It's not as bad because the maps actually look good in Forge. But like the Halo 5 like Forge maps,
Yeah.
they just looked like there's like no texture. It's just like blank slate
Yeah.
like objects. It's like
Flat gray walls.
yeah, flat gray walls, like platforms, ramps that are just all solid, one color and stuff. I'm like, yeah, the maps may play good, have a good design, but they looked like aesthetically shit. And there was a lot of them in there. Like, so Halo 5's multiplayer was good mechanically. And Halo Infinite delivered, man. It really was that like true evolution of the multiplayer. It's just they failed with the live service element of getting the content out quick enough.
Yep.
So that's the biggest problem there.
And then they did a weird thing where they like, it was like the year after launch, they were like, yeah, we're done making content and packs for Halo, but then they kept putting out content and packs. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think we'll get a Halo multiplayer game anytime in the next 3 years?
The next Halo multiplayer game is whatever the next mainline Halo comes out.
So how long will it be between Halo Infinite and the next mainline Halo game?
What Halo Infinite came out in
2021.
2021? Gosh, I don't. Probably a year or two after the new console launches. I think. I don't know.
I mean, that's
I mean, I honestly,
crazy.
I think Halo is in a weird state where like it's kind of you kind of can't predict what they're doing anymore because they've canceled so much and they've switched engines and they've rebranded their studio. Like you really don't know what's going on at Halo Studios at this point.
Yeah, the armor lock and Halo Reach multiplayer.
Yeah, you try to run a view over with a ghost and you just
that
explode.
shit is crazy, bro. Yeah, it's gonna be way too long, man. This is the kind of shit that Asha needs to make sure doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, this is what happens when you put all your eggs in one basket of a studio that it hasn't proven being able to deliver consistently. And this is what I think is gonna fix. Whatever their reorganization is there, I have a strong inclination that there is a lot of focus being put on the Halo franchise from the inside.
I mean, I wouldn't
about
be
how to handle
surprised
it.
now that in the next few months, if you don't, that Halo is done, if Asha doesn't come in and kind of look at Halo Studios and you see a firing or
they won't kill
reorganization.
Halo. They won't just
No,
like,
they
put
won't
it
kill it, but I expect her to come in and maybe reorganize Halo Studios a little bit in the next few months because of this game launch. And
But if they do that, how? Like, what's your answer? And like, I want Jasper's answer. And you've laid out your issues with Halo. I want your answer exactly. If you're Asha Sharma, this is from #1 complainer Halo fan here. How do you fix it for the mainline Halo franchise?
so I think the first thing you have to look at with Halo Studios, you have to remove the contractor aspect. Whatever, and maybe this is even moving Halo out of Seattle. I don't know if or out of Washington. I don't know if it's a Washington like state issue specifically, but just the turnover amount of people that Halo has to go through to come out with a game. I don't know if you need to move that studio, open a second Halo studio. There was originally plans to open a second Halo studio before. So you have to fix the contractor issues where people come in and out. And I think you have to do a culture cleanse at Halo Studios itself, where you have to get rid of a lot of people and restructure. Because Halo Studios is the entire time that 343 and Halo Studios has been a thing, we've always heard mismanagement. You have to fix that issue. And I don't know if that's keeping Pierre, removing Pierre, or just removing the people under him and giving him full control. I don't know if it's the 14 chain of command emails that Microsoft has set up still that involves Halo. Whatever that is, you have to get rid of that and let Halo be Halo. But I think contractors is a main issue too.
Yeah. I'm gonna say something crazy. So here's what I would do. I would go into it and I would just say like, okay, what's best for the brand at this point? Okay, like Halo Campaign Evolved, I think is fine. Like it's not setting the world on
it's
fire.
fine, but it wasn't gonna grow the brand. It wasn't gonna move the IP forward.
But like, so like they're gonna have that. It's like it hits. And some people are gonna love it. It's gonna get kind of embraced by some, and you're gonna have. But it's not like this isn't the future, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're looking at this as a sign of what to expect for the future of Halo going forward. They kind of hinted at that before with the reveal of Halo of UE5 and campaign evolved, but like we don't know what else they're cooking, So unless they are 100% concrete on what they have in the works, that they know they got something and it's going to be special and it's only a couple years out, right? Unless that's the case, here's what I do. This is going to sound brutal. I walk in to Halo Studios as Asha Sharma, and I have full Darth Vader outfit on. And I say, I told you guys there was going to be how many more layoffs was there going to be? Another 1,800, I think.
Sure.
Yeah. You guys are the first part of that. We're killing this whole studio. Your Halo Studios is gone. Now that'll get out. People are gonna panic. Halo's over. Halo's dead. You'll have Dreamcast guy video. Halo's dead. You'll have all that stupid shit going on, right? Xbox is dead. Halo. Phil said when we lose away with Halo, we lost away with Xbox. You're gonna have all that shit, right? Follow it up with we are assembling a team of some of the ex-Bungie devs that are no longer there since they've gone away. Some vets from Halo Studios that worked, right? That they feel like they had a good feel for what to do. And vets from some of the other studios from within Xbox, right? People from id, people Coalition, whatever. Assemble a team. You have somebody that is crazy good at being a leader, that understands what Halo is, take charge of the studio, and maybe it's Jason Jones, right?
You know what? Maybe get Marty O'Donnell back to run it so he can stop trying to run for Congress or what the hell he's doing.
Yeah. Maybe it's Jason Jones, and maybe you bring Joseph Staten in and combine those two. Maybe them two can get along. I don't know, right? You have that. You go in and you be like, look, this studio is going to report directly to Asha Sharma. Cut Matt Booty out of this fucking equation. Cut fucking Matt Booty out. He doesn't get to say any say-so over what is going to be happening at the new Halo studio. It's going to be a Halo expert in charge over brand new talent. And you're going to announce that and let them choose what engine they want to work with. Okay? You don't say this is what we want you to do. Let them choose. Give them the treasure trove of options that you have. Right? Whatever it is they feel is going to give the best case scenario for delivering the best Halo games. So you announce the name of the studio. You call it whatever you fucking want.
See,
I don't
that's
care.
what I was trying to think of. Is like it was 343 after 343 Guilty Spark. Now it's Halo Studios. What they got left, like Grunt Games or something, is what it's gonna be called.
Yeah. You should Grunt Games. No, you call it
Flood Works. I don't know.
yeah, Blood Works. What's the Truth, Regret, all those fuckers names. Like what are they?
Prophets.
Yeah, the Prophet of Truth. Have Prophet Studio. I don't fucking know. Anyway, whatever it is.
Profit Projects.
Yeah, Prophet. But the Prophets. Call it the Prophets. And then you can name Halo Studios for the third time Banished. So yeah, you have them be the Prophets. right? Prophets of regret. That's what we should name them, the prophets of regret, and then have the banished. So you have them, okay? Whatever it is. And then at the same time as you announce this studio, you also announce that you have 2 other Halo projects working with other Xbox studios. One with id, one with World's Edge.
Halo Wars 3, baby.
Let's go. You announce that, hey, Halo is here. We have this project. We have this project, right? I don't like I feel like at this point the best thing would be a little bit of a hiatus.
Do you think Halo also falls into the Ubisoft trap where they chase trends too much?
The fact that they had they were working on an extraction shooter, yes.
And a battle royale?
A battle royale, yes.
Yeah.
Now, there's some that say, oh, it can't succeed
Yeah.
unless they do that. And fuck that shit. Now, here's the thing, okay? Games come out that set those trends. You don't want to be a trend chaser. You want to be a trend setter. Okay? Halo was the trend setter
And
for every first-person shooter and fucking matchmaking arena-style shooter that came out after it. Okay?
Like this new Gears, they're trying their own thing with multiplayer. And if it hits, it could be the next big thing. They're not chasing
100%. 100%. And Halo innovated too. Like they took ideas from other games, like but made it their own thing. Like Firefight, was it in response to Horde mode from Gears? You know, maybe, but it fucking rocked. You know what I mean? Like it was different. It was very different. And then they kind of like don't do things the same way anymore. Even with that, like, I feel like there's too much trend chasing going with games. Sometimes it works. Like Arc Raiders is an extraction shooter that hit, right? But they did it. It's very different than the other extraction shooters that are out there, you know. So like you have different genres and like you can have ideas behind it, but some of them are too copy and paste on formulas. Nothing is going to be entirely original anymore. You know, so you're always going to be taking ideas or incorporating different, and it's going to be kind of a blends of modes and stuff to kind of create your own thing. But you can't be like, we need to make a Halo battle royale. We need to make a Halo extraction shooter. We need to make a Halo this. We need to make a Halo.
Especially 5 years after that genre's already been going on, and there's 20 games out there like that.
What you need is somebody that has a fucking killer idea that's fun as fuck.
And it doesn't have to involve trends or Master Chief. You have an entire Halo IP that you can.
You have a whole fucking universe at your disposal, right? And you have so many tools there to make what you want. Like, they have so much at their disposal. Stop wasting the opportunities, you know? And this is like the shit that Austin's got to control. And it's like, go in there and fucking figure out what it needs to be done. And maybe it's Halo Studios that's the answer. But I just hate thinking right now we're in a UE5 remake that, yeah, it was cool. It kind of hit, but it's not. Where's the next actual fucking Halo game? You know? Like, where's the actual next Halo game? Like, just please bring it out at some point. Let us see it. Or if you don't believe in it, get a fucking team in and the tech in there. It's something you do fucking believe in, right? Coalition has this with Gears. I believe in what they're showing with Gears E-Day. I think everybody in the chat does too. But it's like everybody's fucking up in the air on what the future of Halo is. After days after an official fucking release.
Yep.
We shouldn't be up in the air on your biggest franchise of the history of your fucking platform.
That's why I said like at this point in time, I feel like Halo is you used to be able to know, like, yeah, they're making a new Halo game, like it's probably going to be yada yada. But this is the first time where I don't think anyone can predict what Halo is going to be, or when it's going to come out, or what it's going to do anymore.
Yeah, and I want them to whatever it is, figure it out. Asha Sharma, that's what a mandate. Fucking figure it out, right? And bring back Forza Motorsport. I know you probably don't care to, but you're talking about Rebirth. Figure out what happened with that franchise. GT7 is still doing fine. Sim Racers, Simcade still works. I know you got Forza Horizon. It's not a pure track racer. Forza Motorsport's one of your pillars. Bring it back. Do something else with it. But anyway, yeah. High hopes for Gears, man. I think they're on the right track. So can't wait to play
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I will say, like, the stuff they keep showing with Gears keeps getting me more and more excited. Like, again, admittedly, I'm not the biggest Gears person. Like, I skipped a few of them in the past. I've skipped Judgment, and I think it took me a long time to finish 4. I eventually did. But this Gears, like, every time they show something, I want to jump in more and more. So
Yeah, 100%, dude. It's been one of my most anticipated, but it's like after seeing the multiplayer like hit, I was
yeah,
questioning like what are they gonna do. After seeing that, I'm like fucking reinforced, man. Like even more so. Other besides those games, other game, I tried the fucking beta for Marvel Tokon.
oh yeah,
Um, I haven't played a fighting game that's been this exciting for me in fucking
oh,
years, bro. So
I
fucking
just
good.
saw where. Oh, the only thing I saw on it was apparently someone like posted a screenshot of the Steam numbers, and it went to like 0 in like a week.
No, that's I don't know. I don't know what it did, but like overall, like I played on that beta and just the animation, like the moves and everything, the way that the gameplay mechanics are, like as a like I'm not like a fighting game expert, you know, but like it harkens me back to like the first time I played Marvel versus Capcom. You know, like the feeling of how good this is for the time, you know? Like Marvel Tokon was giving me that vibes when I was playing the beta. Like it is really fucking good. So I'm looking forward to that. And then we'll see what else hits this year. But GTA 6, Wolverine, I guess. We
There's
got
so many games coming out this year that I'm excited to play. Like, even next week, Beast of Reincarnation comes out. I think that's next week at least.
yeah,
I think
Beast
it comes out on the 3rd.
Reincarnation. You got Resonance, Plague Tale.
Yeah, you got Ace Combat. Like, that's
Mhm.
probably one of my most hyped games that I'm looking forward to. You have GTA. There's so many great games coming out this year that they're going to be great. Like,
um,
I know,
yeah,
like, I come with a lot of negativity, but there are games that come out that I actually like and are really good.
yeah. Um, Alvin says Tokon broke the Steam beta concurrent record for a fighting game. Um, might have been somebody like trolling because like beta ended
Oh,
or
yeah, maybe. I don't
something.
know. I haven't paid attention to the token stuff, so I thought it was
Yeah.
out,
Oh,
honestly. I
that's what
didn't know.
Alvin says. The number went to 0 because the beta ended. LOL, it was a joke.
Oh,
Somebody was trolling out there. Yeah, I don't. I didn't pay attention to the numbers at all. I just know what I experienced, and I was like, "Holy shit, fucking
I didn't even know there was a
amazing."
beta going on, to be honest with you, so
Yeah. Um, GTA 6 marketing will start in August. Xlands Gaming says. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, GTA 6 is going to take over the gaming world once I will probably get like 2 or 3 of those in-depth trailers where they're going to be like, you play as blah blah blah, and this is the story. You
welcome
know,
to
like
Vice City.
yeah,
You can
the
experience a
Rockstar.
walk on the beach, and then you have, like, an explosion in the distance.
I fucking I love those Rockstar trailers though. They did them
Yeah.
for Red Dead 2 also, and they're like 10, 15 minutes long, but they just kind of like narrate part of the experience and stuff. They're so cool. Anyway, all right, man. Well, this was a fun show back. A lot of Halo nitpicking again. despite all that, I did enjoy my time with campaign involved, and I will be playing more. I just don't
I'm
know
gonna
if it's my answer for the future, and I have no idea what the future is for Halo right now. So I actually
definitely
just have
gonna
more
jump back
questions.
into it tonight or tomorrow and try to finish it up and get all the achievements.
I would like to do a run through, maybe on stream, with you and 3-bit. My dream would be to get you, 3-bit, and Pong to play with me on stream. I don't know if I'd be able to get Pong to do it or not.
But see, I think this is gonna be the problem is I'm gonna kill everything before you all get to it, and then 3-bit's gonna be in the
No,
corner trying to look at the
we're
skybox, but he can't look at the skybox because there's limitations in this game.
we're gonna play Legendary. We're gonna play on Legendary, and we're gonna have a rule: we have to kill all the fucking enemies before we move on. Okay. And uh, we'll get with 3-bit to see about what skulls he wants to implement or not. Because if we try lasso, we can take like 6 or 7 hours going through one fucking
Oh,
level.
it's
Like,
gonna take so long if we do that because even like it's harder on solo because you have to restart the mission on lasso if you die.
yeah,
In co-op, it's a little easier because you get the checkpoints. But I think that's just going to come down the way we progress is like you and Pong are just going to have to sit behind a rock whole time while me and 3-bit try to clear the room.
yeah. I wanna try, but like I don't want to play like one fucking level for like 8 hours and finally get through it.
Yeah.
I was watching Peanut play with like Nick Merckx and uh, Cloaksy, and he had another guy that was new to Halo, and they're all way. I mean, they're pretty good. You know what I mean? And they were fucking having a lot of trouble.
I
You
want
know?
to I want to try co-op and I haven't tried it yet, especially 4-player co-op because the original it only had 2-player co-op, so I want to see how the levels play with 4 people, but
Yeah. So we'll see. Down to do lasso. Let's do it. 3-bit says. I wanted to play on stream with you guys. We don't know. I don't know how much. I don't what. I know there's new skulls. So like the third party skull. There's
yeah,
also the flying
it
skull.
only
You know.
chooses 17 skulls. I think it's like the
Hmm.
original skulls. It doesn't do a lot of the new fun skulls for
Hmm.
lasso.
What about the one where if one of us dies, it resets the check?
Yeah, that's the iron it's on. That's a classic skull, so it's on for lasso.
Yeah. Can we not have that one on?
Well,
But is that well? Then that won't be
you
lasso,
it wouldn't be
right?
lasso, and you wouldn't get the achievement for it, but you could technically select whatever skulls you wanted and play.
Yeah. Well, I'll get in the DMs with you and 3-bit, and we'll see who we have for a fourth. Maybe Kate. I can talk into it, but she just gave me a look like fucking crazy. So maybe I'll see if Pong would do it. Mr. Casual Halo fan. I just want to hear his banter while we're playing. But yeah, I mean, thanks for hopping on, Jasper.
Yep.
Tell everybody where they can find you and your new laser eyes.
Um. Yeah, my new laser eyes will be here most Thursdays. I probably won't be back next week because I'm flying back. I'm going somewhere, so I'll be coming back that Thursday. So I don't know if I'll be here in time. But if I am, I'll be here Thursday night next week. And then other than that, you got another month of me, and then actually no, because I work weekends in September. So you got a few more months of me. You're welcome, chat, or you're not
Yeah.
welcome. I don't know which I feel about
Well,
that.
let's see. What it depends on what comes out, I guess, in the meantime, and how positive
Yeah.
you are, whether how much they'll like you or not. We'll see. All right, man. You have a good one, Jasper. Chat, you guys rock. Thanks for tuning in. And again, yeah, thanks for hopping back in after a couple weeks away. I look forward to doing some more Mavcast and some streams coming up. We'll be back next week for sure for FSP Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And if you want to find out before we go live, if you just either hit the notification bell here, like it, sub, all that kind of stuff also helps. But if you follow on Twitter or join the Discord, you can get more updates on the channel and all that kind of stuff. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Go have some fun playing Halo or whatever else you're into right now. Take it easy. Bye bye.